se está muy bien, pero cuando sales de ella, descubres cosas maravillosas. ¿Cuánto tiempo llevas usando el mismo perfume? Si te atreves a probar cosas nuevas, a lo mejor descubres uno que te cambia la vida. Así que cuando quieras, te invito a venir a probar uno de esos.
Presentamos Royal Bliss, una gama de mixers con matices y sabores completos para que suenes más allá. Royal Bliss, complicarse la vida es maravilloso.
Do you realize, for 110 years now, our lives have been enlightened by a trusted presence, giving a spring to your step when you leave, and whispers of inspiration to fuel your senses, lending clarity to your views with compelling imagery and sound, so you could understand and communicate better from almost anywhere.
The Longines FEI Jumping Nations Cup final returns this year with more strength and drive than ever. One of the most important equestrian events in the world.
Well, a very warm welcome and a very good afternoon wherever you're joining us. We are live with you in Barcelona. It is, of course, the venue for the Longines FEI Jumping Nations Cup final here at this historic venue. But it is individual action that we're going to concentrate on with the famous Queen's Cup, the Segura Vidas trophy that is on offer. It is international jumping of the very highest order. This is an amazing city, one of the best and one of the favourite venues of the year. And of course, we're looking forward to some great competition throughout the course of the afternoon. So, riders have been out having a little look around the course, and we're getting set for a class that includes €52,000 worth of prize money. It's a winning round competition, 12 obstacles in the first course, 15 jumping efforts, a time allowed set at 78 seconds, 15 nations, 57 starters, and we are ultimately looking in this round for the best 15 to go in to the winning round. 15 and 15 is what goes forward. If for some reason it is some faults that get there, they will all reset to 0. It's a winning round, so they'll come back in that round that will decide the ultimate order on a 0 score. Let's have a little look at the lineup. It starts with British rider William Whittaker, the first to go on Galter. Riders from all over and from the very top of the sport. Julien Epilard in there, alongside Johnny Powers, Gregory Waterley, Vilma Helmström. You can see there's plenty representing Spain as well, with Xavier Sebra-Soriano going just before Steve Gadat. Pedro Vinis and André Diem. André, the European champion, had the big win here last night. Jack Ryan, one of the stars of the Irish team, and Tim Wilkes there with guest list for Canada. We can see Edouard Schmitz, who's riding for the Swiss, and Jose Maria La Roca, and again plenty more local talent on display as well. Mark McCauley for Ireland. We have riders from Croatia as well, with Sergio, and Colombia's Kelmira Ruda. Marlon Zanatelli for Brazil. It's a long list with, as I say, 57 to come forward. Jody Hall-McAteer, Trevor Breen, Michael van der Vleuten for Great Britain, Islands and the Netherlands. Gilles Thomas, the young Belgium star, in there alongside the likes of Canadian rider Beth Underhill and Swedish lady rider Evelina Tovek. Martin Fuchs for the Swiss. We've got Cortizia Goncalves, Alvaro Filo, Kevin Stout, Mario Stevens. It's a really exciting lineup. Some very good horses when you see the likes of Kevin Visconti. Michael Pender's been having an amazing year. Jev Reeling for the Dutch, part of their silver medal winning team of the World Championships. Olivier Philipparts, and towards the end you can see their Pier Schwitzer, Francisco Jose Mesquita Musa, and Alex Codina Liera, the young rider for Spain. It's an amazing lineup, and I'm sure will be an amazing class once it all gets underway in a few moments' time. So winning round structure, we're looking for 15 to go forward into the winning round. That's when it hits the reset button. That's when we all go back to 0. Maybe it's only clears that go through, but if for some reason there are 16 clears, one of them is going to miss out. It is just as simple as that. We're looking for your qualification, is the best way to look at it, into the winning round. That's when it's all decided. You've got to get through the prelim. You've got to get through the opening round of jumping here. And it's a big old track. 1.50 meters is the height. And the time allowed is set at 78 seconds. Well, as you can see, the likes of Evelina Tovek there having a little look around, and plenty more just been out inspecting the course a few moments ago, because we're now very close to being under starters' orders. You can see the brilliant warm-up facilities just out the back there, and down the funnel comes the first to go. British rider William Whittaker, a man that has ridden for his country at the likes of the World Championships. He rode with this horse at the Europeans in Risenbeck last year. It is a horse called Galter. Had a little bit of time off over, well, pretty much from November last year through to June, July this year. But now coming back and trying to pick up where they left off, because they were in fabulous form. He really did lead the line as part of the team last year. So, next and ready to go. The first in. Already a nice crowd building up here, of course. It's Nations Cup jumping tonight with those teams that didn't quite get through to the final. The Challenge Cup here this evening. So plenty of top sport throughout the remainder of the day here with the Longines FEI Jumping Nations Cup. Stanley Van Passion looking on, very much part of the British team setup alongside team manager and chef de keep Di Lampard. William, the fifth man this week, been put in, as I say, just giving, I think, Kim and the horse the chance just to continue to build on that run back in to top flight competition. They had a very good result in the 4-star out in Centaur just a few weeks back, third in the Grand Prix there. So they've certainly got the ability, we know that, and it'll be an interesting combination to see out there first. Didn't quite go to plan last night. For those of you with us enjoying that big jumping class, the individual class here yesterday evening. It was the City of Barcelona Cup. This is the Queen's Cup. So, course designer Santiago Valera has got this track ready, and we're set to get underway with the first for Great Britain. 15 different nations represented out of the 57 that come forward. €52,000. We can have a little look at where they're going in round one. As William starting off Down then towards this 150 upright at fence 2, and then they roll back round the corner. Fence 3, and then down to the combination that again comes quite early in the course. 7 strides, but he yet just finds his way on top of that first element of the combination. Upright, upright, parallel. And then this looping section, you roll back to 5, then turn your way back to fence 6. Front rail coming down there. And then you come into the next of these related lines. Seven down on the curve after that 4-stride distance, then back on yourself again. There's plenty of options in terms of time, and with it being such, not just the time allowed, but of course time being a crucial factor to getting through into that winning round, it's going to be important that these riders use the space they've been given to try and shorten down the distance. Well, he lands over the last 74.25, but an 8-fault score, an improvement on last night. And that is the first to go. It is the first of the British riders well inside on the time of 78 seconds, but I don't see that being too much of an issue unless people are going particularly steady. But he just gets caught out by a couple of fences. As Galter there, the gelding, the 12-year-old by Cornet Stern out of a Malu de Rouet mare, is the first to go. On we go to Germany. Jana Fredrika Mehl-Zimmermann, a lady that has taken gold medals for her country in the past, in the World Championships and the team in 2010, the Europeans team rider in 2011. This horse is Chesmu KJ. A good result in the Grand Prix in Lier. Went very well in the 5 stars in Sopot and Hamburg back in the middle of the season. Really sitting back, holding the horse off that front rail. Then you need the power and the scope there to get out when you take a little bit out of the engine, just steadying the pace. Roll back round that beautiful Spanish vehicle, that driving vehicle that stands as an island. Just trying to do all she can to contain that energy, that pace on the 4-stride. She's doing a very, very good job at the moment now. Into these final 3 fences, gets a lovely turn back and a lovely stride to that fence. It stands all on its own at 10, and then into the final line. Very narrow little plank at the end, and that looks strong, and it's certainly clear. Lovely rounder jumping. So Jana giving us the opening clear, 73.86. She sets the opening time as well. As remember, we're looking for 15 out of just shy of 60. So 57.56 to come forward. Horse gets a pat. Jana's going to be happy with that. I'd like to hope and think that all the clears will find their way through. It just depends how this class unfolds. And there's some big stars in it. Certainly here we go with Julien Epillard. It is for France now. World number 5 on those Longines rankings. This is Donatella Dosch. It is a new ride to him this year. Won the Grand Prix in Sello. Jumped well, had a win in Rotterdam and in Cannes. He's had some good wins with this horse this year. And, well, naturally fast and fluent rider. Wins so many competitions. Almost riding it like a jump-off. He'll give us a great benchmark in terms of the clock. You can see landing, turning. He's not taking the risks that he perhaps would in a round against the clock to decide the money, but he's certainly not leaving a huge amount on the table. There's definitely A little tighter line if they want it there, but this is good. This is very, very good. 68.78. Some 5 seconds quicker than we saw from Jana to jump the clear and lead the way, and that I think will really put a marker down for everybody that is still to come in terms of the time. Really didn't leave a huge amount. I think there's perhaps maybe like coming back into the last there, you can maybe just come in a little bit tighter on that island fence. I'm sure there'll be moments like that, but really it's going to be very, very small margins. On we go. Great Britain again already now with Joe Stockdale. Joe, who jumped the clear with his top ride in Thursday's opening round of the Longines FEI Nations Cup with Equad America Cascarel. His team was part of the bronze medal winning team at the European Championships, sorry, the World Championships this year. Catch myself up thinking of Europeans for other reasons, but World Champion team bronze medalist. Now Joe with this horse, Bingo de Chateau, top 3 in the 5-star at the Global in London back in August. Horse that's jumped in some good Grand Prix this year, and partnership that just still growing together. Certainly seem to have been a lot stronger in recent weeks. Now back they come. Just ticking on, but at the moment it's about leaving fences up first and foremost, and Joe with just one more left to jump to give himself the clear in this Queen's Cup, and that he's done. 70.55. It was a nice forward round. That's as strong as they've been, and looking really good there from Joe Stockdale. Be delighted with that, I'm sure. Bingo de Chateau, superb performance with the 11-year-old, the gelding by Caprice Bois Margot out of a Royal Fumet. Superb performance, and that second of the 3 clears that we currently have. Now just have to sit, watch and wait. He's going to have a long wait to find out if it's good enough for the top 15, and hopefully it will, as for the other 2 clears so far, bring him back in that winning round. Next up is a chance for Spain. Laura Roquette Pegrero riding Miki Pegreux. This is only an 8-year-old by Fancy Boy. In Hee-Haw with this just a couple of weeks back. Unfortunately, the second fence goes down. Combination well. Sitting the horse back, coming around that corner, making sure he can focus and lock on to the next fence. When you get those twists and turns, very easy for the horse just to perhaps lose a little bit of concentration. Need to make sure it's focused on where you're going. Ooh. Just running out, coming off fence 8, coming out to the double at 9 A and B. Obviously knew she wasn't on a good stride, and rather than committing to jumping into a double, perhaps made the more sensible choice just to pull out at the last moment. It's a big old parallel going in, 150, and then you've got that 150 upright coming out. Well, now the time faults as well with that refusal are also just clicking in, and they go by the second. It's a really long run at the end of this course from that fence at number 10 all the way back round to number 11 and then into this line. It's going to be a testing track. 120 metres from start to finish. You're jumping on the way round, so just finishing there was Laura and Miki Guerrero. First of the combinations we get to see for Spain, and at the moment 3 clear rounds. Yeah, the fence that fell early on. Well, the 3 clears coming from Julien Epinard, Joe Stockdale and Jana Frederica Meyer-Zinnemann. Now, next up, this will be the turn of Johnny Powell's Dutch start. Zakara Hero Z. Got a lovely stable of horses. Jumping in New York last week. Very good, and they are now more and more aware because they've learned very quickly, and we're going to see this as the deeper we get into the class, they're going to have to push, and when they push, that is the easy part of what can just so simply happen. It is a fence going down, and Johnny Pound will know that it's going to be costly with clear rounds looking like they're going to come 4 in 71.88. Time-wise, perhaps made in the third of the clears, but it isn't to be because the second to last goes down. Johnny Powell's now will wait. I think we're going to see quicker times than that. There's a big wide stretch coming into that final line. Got those 7 strides. 50 wide. There's your order at the moment. Top of the order, Julien Epinard for France. Joe Stockdale and Jana Frederica Meyer-Zinnemann next to go. It is Gregory Waterley. Belgium's turn, Cadix Hero Z. Such an important part of championship teams in recent years because it was the gold medal winning team back in 2019 at the Europeans. This horse is an 11-year-old by Cadence van Gielut. Rail. I think now he's acutely aware that he's got to push on maybe a little bit quicker with the fence going down. He's trying to see if there's anything he can do in this final run towards trying to save a second here or a second there, and he's quite tight coming into these final 2 fences. It will help him a little bit in terms of the clock, but that will not help him at all because again, the faster you go, the easier it is the door to open to making another error, and that is a total of 8. So what a shame for him. Certainly think on a score of 8 it's not going to be possible to get yourself into that second round when you've already got 3 clears on the board and such a long way to go in this competition. A little look at the replay here. powerful jumper. 11-year-old there. That was a KX Hero Z. Next up is Alicia Gabaran-Lewis riding Beneficial. This then is Canada's turn. It's a new ride in the middle of this year. Some strong horses and riders, and despite the difficulties they had in the opening round of the Longines FEI Nations Cup here 2 days ago, that has seen them out of contention and out of play. They rule out any of their riders in the individuals, and middle of the combination though, making life difficult here for this lady. Oof, little tap coming out of the double, but she's still just on the 4, and because of that she's just kept up that rhythm. Really nice and forward rounded jumping here. 10-year-old mare by Banderas. One more fence to go. Be careful with that light little plank. That they've jumped, and are they under the 70-second marker? They are, and we're going to be able to work out quite quickly that if you can get under 70 seconds, you're looking like you've got a quick round of jumping. That then is the best of the 4 full rounds, early stages, early days, but the best of the 4 and an under sub 70-second round is very, very positive. That was the only negative out there on the course for the combination then for Canada, Alicia Gabaran-Lewis and Beneficial. That's all it takes, one little mistake though, and down goes the fence. Next up, Sweden. Willem Helmström, Quinty van Hoff, 10-year-old by Quinty Z. Jumped very well in the 4-star in Saint-Tropez back in the middle of September, was second there. Partnership in action at Hickstead back in the summer. He's got good experience jumping at this high. Despite that, still now fence has gone down, what, 2 or 3 times early on. Gregory Wantley caught out by it as well. Just sitting out there on its own. Well, today it is 4 and 72.94, which unfortunately will make it the slower of those on a full score, but at the moment just the 3 of them, so still goes into 6th place there for Willem Helmström as the first of the riders for Sweden there with the 10-year-old Gelding. 3 clears, 3 on 4 fulls. Need not go much further than that at the moment, as we're looking for 15, the qualifying bracket, to get through to the winning round here in the Queen's Cup and compete for that €52,000 prize fund. Now this is Norway. Marit Hara Skoldrud riding Lancaster. And 11-year-old Gelding by Fadamos Demus. star in Centre. Before coming here, we saw them as part of the Norwegian Nations Cup team in Dublin. They get caught coming out of the combination. We've seen all three parts of that in different ways at different times coming down, and that is a fence we hadn't seen full, but it is now down. These twists and turns so important in terms of the clock as well. Not finding it easy. Comes towards the last on the 12 and still on the 12, in on the clock. Yes, so 75-30 there for the moment, but 12 faults is a big score with so many still to come, and Merritt there and Lancaster perhaps were not enough to find their way into the winning round. And as we said at the start, if we see riders with faults going into the winning round, they all reset to 0. Because that is part of the equation. It is a straight fight. If you can qualify, that's what you're trying to do in this round, is just qualify as one of the best 15. Then we go on to the round that decides it all, the winning round for the Queen's Cup. As next up, looks like Xavier Soriano riding Dasher. This 9-year-old South Francais ride is by Diamant de Semeli. Dasher, the 9-year-old mare. Next to the chances then for our hosts here in Spain. Stepping up a little bit as well today in terms of height. Previously been a consistent 145 jumper. It's been building up through the levels. It's only a 9-year-old, so there'll be plenty to learn. The horse has had a little bit of time off from the international classes since it jumped in the late spring in Oliva. Again, picking up another fault, just going into that double. Running a little bit now, just in fact bringing the horse back, just taking a slightly wider line back into the parallel. Not that it helped in terms of the fence staying up, but you can see just asking for a little bit more control. In fact, enough is enough. Up goes the hand to the grand jury to say they are going to retire. Big round of applause, but it is another that we lose a retirement there for Xavier Soriano for Spain. Spain there with plenty more chances to come in the Queen's Cup here today. The early fence going down right back at the start. Just so easy, those yellow cups, so shallow. Well, on we go to one of the big names in the sports, Tigarat for Switzerland. And that has won pretty much everything in his career, from an Olympic gold medal through to multiple Longines FEI World Cup finals. He's, of course, always played such a big part for the Swiss teams as well, including the gold medal of the European Championships last year. They left off the team here this week. He is the 5th man and putting together a nice string of new horses as well, but very consistent with them. This is Double Joe de Revolut, the stallion, the 9-year-old by Canaan. took the horses to Saint-Tropez in the middle of September. This horse in fact jumped in the 4-star and the 5-star. It was well placed, including a second in the 4-star classes. It was also one that he took with him to Dublin. As I say, just building up that experience, building up that mileage, and say very excited to see Steve and these couple of horses that he's brought here next year with just that extra year of experience on them. Such a world-class rider, the very best in the sport. Shake, rattle and roll, but at the moment still clear. Looks like he's just coaxing this round out of this horse. Again, coming very tight. He's got a line nice and tight to the inside. He drifted him all the way over to the left, but he is still clear and he looks relatively quick. He's just under that 70-second margin, and that is excellent, absolutely excellent. Second best of the round, slower only to Julien Epillard and 69.98. What an exciting pair those two make. And Double Joe de Honvilut for Stigerat goes clear as well. So now we've got 4 that are clear in the top 4 slots. We have that little run of 3 early on. We've had to wait again, but now the clear is back. Just around 2:30 in the afternoon here, just coming up to 2:30 according to Longines, I would agree. I'm sure what time it is wherever you're watching from around the world, but it's great to have you here with us alongside us and enjoying the sport live here from the CSIO in Barcelona. And now the turn of Pedro Vinícius. This horse is Bachmann's Lord Petty Jr., the stallion by Bachmann's Lord Petty. These two make for an experienced combination. The jump off, or I should say the second round here yesterday evening. He's had some good results in Eor, Centaur, Bielbergen, Pedro. Multiple championship rider, including riding and herding at the Worlds this year. This horse actually jumped here in Barcelona 12 months ago and jumped clear on the Sunday when Brazil were part of that Nations Cup final. Again, not wasting time, being very economical with his lines. Land and turn, tight back, quite a narrow little parallel relative. Horse just has that moment, we saw this yesterday evening, where it just has this moment where it does have a little buck and a flick and a kick, and when it does that it just loses its momentum and loses a little bit of time, but time is up. Look at that, 69.15. They are getting closer and closer to the fast time from Julien Epillard, but that is faster than we just saw from Steve Cadet. 69.15 is good enough for second. Pedro Vinícius, Bachmann's Lord Petty Jr. clear yesterday evening in the big class and clear again now in the Queen's Cup, the Segura Virus Trophy, and setting the second quickest time as well. And those clears again building. We now have 5. We're a third of the way to the 15 that'll go forward already into the second round of jumping, and we're around perhaps a third of the way through this opening round of jumping. There they are, Julien Epillard, Pedro Vinícius, Stigerat, Joe Stockdale and Jana Frederica Meyer-Zinnemann. Face of concentration. What can he do today? European champion, individual gold medalist for Rosenbeck last year, and yesterday evening he led the charge in the big class here, took the win last night in that massive jumping competition, and he did it from the front because it was a 2-round class, of course, therefore reverse order of merit. He was the first to go, all starting on a 0 score, but the first to go in that second round. Nobody could go quicker than him. It is André Tem Kanako. So far, putting in another stellar performance with this very impressive 11-year-old gelding. Well, oh, and that double trouble, double pain. Final two fences going down after such perfection yesterday evening. And it was all looking good. And Andre and Kanako down in 10th at the moment on an 8-fault score. And they will know that pretty much puts them out in terms of that winning round. Tiny little tap in front, tiniest of taps, but down it falls, and then he caught the plank as well. Top of the order remains unchanged, and Spain again next up with Pilar Cordon with Flair, the mare by Zorocco Blue VDL. Spain's leading lady riders, multiple championship appearances. Saw these two jumping together in Rome at the start of September, looking very, very nice. Jumped some really quality rounds. Perhaps challenging the very top of the order, but it looked to be a really consistent little jumper. Lovely jump through the combination as well. Distance to the double. Saw that stride a long way off, really had to ride hard for it as well. Spain, as of yet, without a 0 score, and they still haven't got one. 2 in a row, fighting it hard, coming off that turn. It's such a long run round to that final fence. It does mean that she is on a score of 4, and well, for the moment it'll put her within the 15. Of course she'll go into the top 10 there with 73.55 as a time, but that fence, and she can see it on her face as well, just a little shake of the head, rid of the teeth. It's a really, really nice mare, that horse flat for Pilar. Have a look today as we move on. Jack Ryan, it's Ireland, and this is Guppy VDL. The 11-year-old gelding by Arezzo VDL for the young Irishman that has certainly been one of the big Irish stars over the last 12 months. 12 months it's been in terms of jumping for Irish teams for him. Of course, his top ride, BBS McGregor, the wonderful homebred ride that jumped clear, helped Ireland into second place going into Sunday's final. He's been such a regular and strong performer on Nations Cups. round now, with still just these final two, which have become more and more difficult, having watched the last few horses go. Just the one fence, and look how quick he is in terms of the time as well. It could be the quickest. Oh, nearly 68.93. Smooth clinical riding all the way from young Jack Ryan there, as he produces a lovely performance on Guppy VDL. It's a horse that he had a first ride on internationally back in April this year, and then sort of really the partnership coming together back in Bondheim back at the start of September. So this is only their one show together, and looks to be a really nice partnership with a lot still to come. And Jack there putting himself right up behind Julien Epinard, so we're going to see him go against the clock as well. But the clears starting to build. Clear rounds are what are going to get you through, potentially quick clear rounds are what you're going to need as well. We now have 6 clears, including France, Ireland, Brazil, Switzerland, Great Britain and Germany. Next to go is another chance for Spain. Then is Carlos Calvo Jimenez riding Bellagio Massieu, gelding by My Fly de Landette. Stepping up here in the 5-star classes today, giving himself a new challenge. 2 fences down in the combination, just now continuing the round, just again all the time learning, picking up more experience together. Double just adding to the score. It's now on 12 as he loops towards the first of the final 3 fences. The last he just clips as well. He also just almost jumped it over towards the right hand side. He do much about that at the end. It becomes with time penalties as well, a total of 21 there for Carlos Calvo Jimenez and Bellagio Massieu. So Spain's still waiting to see if one of their riders can give them a clear and help their chances of getting through. The best of the Spanish rounds that we've seen so far has of course come from Pilar Cordon with a full performance in 73.55, but she is down in 10th place as the slowest of those on 4. There's a Canadian rider on 4, that was Alicia Gavran-Lewis. There's a Canadian rider next to go, and that is Tim Wilkes riding the Stallion guest list. The 10-year-old by Cicero Zenra Pamel. These two who went to Ascona in Italy beginning of September. A very good result in the Grand Prix there. In that 4-star, he finished well inside the top 10 in 7th place. He also jumped into the top 10 in other classes while on that tour. Just so easy to catch you. The undoing of several riders in this class. Though after the combination, composure is kept, and now just with these final two fences to go. Not though going to be one of the fastest of the fours. Being able just to watch that slightly steadier rhythm. Is this going to put him? Should easily, of course, put him into the 15 because it's only a 4-fault score. It'll go into 11th place there. Tim Wilkes and guest list on the 4. Pressure being put on clear or 4 to find your way into the 15. We now at the top, what is that, sort of 11 places filled by either a clear or a 4. And you're into the 8s with Gregory Waterloo as the fastest of those. Early to really assimilate the back end of the 15. It's more about the clears at the moment. Julian Epinar, Jack Ryan, Pedro Vinis, Steve Gaddad, Joe Stockdale, Arna Pavlika, Meir Zinnemann, and they are the 6 that are through, or I should say the 6 that are clear, because it will be 15 and 15 only. If there were 17 clears, 2 would miss out. It's a winning round that you need to qualify for. This is Sweden. Irma Karlsson riding Chakonu. Spontaneous gelding by Chaco Blue. Experienced horses. Jumps level 60s. The Nations Cup team as well for Sweden in Warsaw in that EEF final back in early September. They went and jumped in Centaur, where they finished in 7th place in the 4-star Grand Prix. They arrive here in fabulous form. Nations Cup outings this year in that 3-star series. Oh, lucky, you could just see as they came around the corner, the horse just had to use all of its body, all of its agility just to get up and over, and just gave the back rail a little nudge, and that was more than a little nudge because it slides the plank off the top of the cups and down it goes. The last fence falls to bring them home on the 4, and 71.91 is into the top 10. They go into 9th, but like so many, they join that list of wait and sees. Will it be, won't it be? And that is the difference. It's just that plank at the MRW fence that's come down for Sweden there, and Irma Karlsson. Having a little look round, here's the next. This, though, is Norway now. Therese Scholl Henriksen riding Santos Z. There is the bell. This 10-year-old by Spartacus Tien out of the San Patriani Cassini mare. Very well in the 3-star. In Cantilou. Going around to the start, saw these two jumping together in Brussels in the 3-star, and they went out as well to Herning. They're jumping in the 3-star that ran alongside those World Championships. Good Kanaka back in the middle of the summer. Round of jumping. quickest in terms of trying to challenge Julien Epillard, but at the moment she wants it to be clear. And she comes with 2 to go. And she's jumped the clear. Clear's come first, 72.97. It is clear. It isn't the slowest of the clears either. It's a little faster than Jana Fredrika Zinnemans and Chesmu JK or KJ. They will then drop into 7th as Salez moves herself into 6th place. So brilliant round from the Norwegian rider. Therese Solol Henriksen there and Santos Zed. Be delighted with that, as they've just pushed themselves in to the top 15 with a clear round that's put them right up inside the top 10. So they are now in 6th place. 7 clear rounds, how many more still to come. Next to go, Edouard Schmitz, very talented young jockey for the Swiss. Week, but Kuno for 4 in that opening round that helped the Swiss through to Sunday's final for the Longines FEI Jumping Nations Cup. So this is Babylon des Edibles, the 11-year-old mare, like Esmir van Hedgehoff. Jumped this horse in Düsseldorf and Zurich in the under-25s back in August of this year. Went very, very well on the podium, top 4 twice. So put in a really good performance in that 3-star Grand Prix in Quilans back in the end of July. He himself was just out of New York in the 5-star last week. He's certainly able to compete with the best of them, and this is quick. This is quick. Sub 70, top 4, 69.97. It's bunching up very, very tightly at the top of the order. So unbelievably close. In fact, in terms of the time, 69.97 is only 2/100ths of a second faster than Steve Cadat, who is clear and now in 5th, with that round putting Edouard there into 4th place. But, 2 Swiss riders with clears on the board. Still Julien Epillard, 68.78 is the fastest. The Frenchman leading the pack from Jack Ryan, Pedro Vinis, the 1-2-3. Gives us 2 clears in a row as well. There's, look how tight those times are. 68.78, 68.93, 69.15, 69.97, and then 69.98. There is absolutely nothing in it, but the clears continuing to rise in number. As the next gets set to start, we're up to 8 on a 0 score. This is Mariano Martinez Bastida riding Quark de Perly Z. Really unfortunate. Once she got the first part wrong, there was no recovering through the next 2 parts. Nicely. Just a very expensive trip up through the combination. lengths left to go, and it is still just the combination that's caused the pain all the time. First to have picked up a time fall and not had a stop, so 13 is the marker. Mariano Martinez Bastida there for Spain, and still their best is Pilar Codon on the 4. Back to the first part, you can see he just gets on top of that, and then again all out of sync. It's catching it out. 1, 2 and 3 different parts all falling down. No luck at all. 4 to go before we reach the halfway mark, and as we know, already 8 clears of the 15 that are looking to qualify. Qualification at the moment is a clear or a 4. There is 1-8 Volta holding on in 15th slot. That is Gregory Montalet and Cadix Hero Z. This is Argentina. Jose Maria La Rocca Jr., the horse, the gelding. It's an 11-year-old. It's called ESI or ESI Toulouse. With this horse. I saw it jump here yesterday evening. It has got a very good record. It's jumped some really good rounds in the last 4 shows. It's been in the top 10 4 times, and again up against his top ride Finalente, that was his medal winning horse at those Pan Am Games, silver back in 2019. Just the plank to negotiate. Clock just ticking on. He's fine for the time, but how slow or fast will he be with a 4? Well, it's good enough to go into 8th place. So that clear round is not the slowest. It is 73.24, and it is clear. It means we now have 9 clear rounds. You can easily see us ending up with some of the clears not getting through here today, with it being 15 to go into the winning round. It's about qualifying. It's a different mentality, this class, than you would in a normal jump-off class, because that is a jump-off class about going clear, getting in the jump-off. This is a winning round. This is about qualification. You need to get into the winning round if you're going to win, or you're going to take the money. If you carry faults in, then you all hit 0 and go again. 15 have the chance to do so. The best 15 on faults in time in round 1. What it also means with that clear is that the full 15 are now either 0 scores or 4 fault scores as these two start out, and it is Manuel Fernandez Saro, Tiffany de Olid, 10-year-old mare by Habidam des Horts. Gasp from the audience as the pole well down. He's been such a major part of the sport here in Spain. World Championships, Olympic Games. Today, 4 for the moment, 1 of the 15. Now the falls are not even getting through in their entirety. The full round, the slowest of which coming from Tim Wilkes, has just dropped out. That would guess this. It puts Pilar Codon onto the bubble. Manuel, though, becoming the best of the Spanish riders so far. It's the defence that goes. No reason One very good round already, though, for Ireland. That came the way of Jack Ryan, Guppy VDL. I'm pretty sure they'll be through because they have, at the moment, the second quickest of the clear rounds we've seen in this opening round of the Queen's Cup. Now, though, Mark McCauley, Cap West, who rode to the Europeans for Ireland last year. Be busy. He's always busy on the circuit. This, a man that is inside the world's top 50 on the Longines rankings, currently sits at 41. So Cap West for Ireland, 10-year-old by Checo Blue out of a Horse Lenoir mare. Fence. Now just trying to be as careful as he can through the combination. So last jumping in 5-star, back in Stockholm. He jumped in Hamburg and in Stockholm. Down the levels, gave the horse a little bit of down time, jumped in some 2 stars before heading here. Still clear as it stands, not too shabby in terms of the clock either. Ah, the plank, one of the lightest fences out there on the course, the fence you have to be most careful about, and that time is only just getting him in, 72.30. It could have been clear, he could have been up into 7th place, but it isn't to be. He is down the order now, just holding on, 14th. Of course, that does push out Pilar Godon and Flair, who drop out of the top 15. On the bobble now is Wilma Helmström with Quinty von Hoff, the 4-fault score there, 72.94. Well, Spain again. Lovely shot, focusing down on this course plan. The 9-year-old by Action Breaker. Drifted a little bit over to the right there. Nice jump over the water tray after those 4 strides. Full through the double. That is that parallel, the front rail that comes off for Alberto. Well, the first part of the course had looked strong. Nothing really wrong in that part of the track, but it is the later fences that do start to go down, and then at the end of it all, it is a score of 12 so that we get to the halfway mark in the Queen's Cup, the Segura Viras Trophy, with a fascinating lineup at the moment of those on 0, and then of course those on 4. Plenty of 4s still in, but 1 or 2 4s now just dropping by the wayside. So it gives us an opportunity to take a break. Julien Epilard with the best of the rounds from Jack Ryan, Pedro Vinícius, Edward Schmidt, Stig Gadat and Joseph Stockdale. I think those 6 will all be pretty hopeful they've done enough to find their way through. There is Scholl Henriksen, Jose Maria Larocca and Jana Federica Meyer-Zimmermann, the 9-0 scores. But still looking to qualify everyone in the 15 down to Wilma Helmström and 20 on half Mark Kirby that we were just watching. He goes into 12th place. Others who have had fences and more difficult days know that their day is set and done. Our day is far from done. We've got the second half of this opening round of jumping for the Queen's Cup to bring you, then the winning round, the all-important deciding round, and then of course our attention and focus will build towards the Challenge Cup, the run-off for those outside of the final round tomorrow in the Teams Qualifications Cup, the Longines FEI Nations Cup 1 here at Barcelona. So, as you can see, the arena team are out there doing their part, playing grading away. Take the pause and come back with you in a moment or two. Welcome back to the second half of the opening round of jumping here for the Queen's Cup, the Segura Virus Trophy. It is 52,000 euros worth of prize money. We're live with you here in Barcelona, another big day of sport at what is, of course, one of the most important weekends on the calendar. It is the Longines FEI Jumping Nations Cup final weekend. This evening, under the lights, it'll be the Challenge Cup for those not in tomorrow's grand finale. And we've got lots, though, to look forward to right here, right now, because we're looking for the top 15 to qualify for the winning round. It is all about getting yourself in to those top 15 slots in round one of jumping. We've got a total of, what did I say at the start, 56 coming forward across the entirety of this first round. Only 15 of them will find a space, and we've seen a good number of clears now with what have we got to 9 clear rounds. The clears coming from Julien Epilard, Jack Bryan, Pedro Vinis, Edouard Schmidt, Stig Gadat, Joseph Stockdale, Teresa Henriksen, Jose Maria Larocca, and Jana Federica Meyer-Zinnerman. So those 9 of them will be hoping they've done enough, but halfway through 9 clears, if you repeat that, Matt would say some of the clears won't be getting into the winning round. It's about qualifying for that second round of the course, which is set by Santiago Venera. Fascinating track. It does give them options. Time is certainly been built into this course with a lot of looping and turning lines. Of course, you've got the relateds as well, but there's plenty of options in there. Plenty of space for you to be able to make up a little bit of time. Well, on we go. It's time for Camila Ruda now for Colombia. Iridis Van Het Kajurik. Experience gelding by Carabas van der Rutenhoven. It's a fence we haven't seen full, but it is now down for the Colombian rider. Rode at the World Championships in Herning this year. Was on the Nations Cup team in Mannheim. Still, I guess, plenty to play for if you're a rider and you are on 4, because as it stands, there's still that strong possibility a fast 4 will get through. There are some very good 4-foot rounds, the fastest of which is 69.79, coming from Canadian rider Alicia Garban-Lewis. Turning what is now into the final line of jumping. Still holding on to the 4 and holding on to what looks to be a very quick time. Fastest we've seen from anybody, 67.38. He absolutely flew, really attacked it. And at the end of it all, the last goes down. And that 8 faults makes it impossible, because it's got to be 4 or better. And 4, and at the moment, just to remind you where the 15 cuts off, it's a full round in 72.94. That at the moment, Wilma Helmström from Sweden, who is in 15th place. And he'd have easily done the time. I mean, that was faster than Julien Epilard's clear, and that is the quickest we had seen. Junker riders, 5 of the clears managed to dip under that 70-second marker, and I personally think clear sub 70 seconds is enough to guarantee you a slot in the winning round. Anything else, just for the moment, I think you perhaps just want to wait and watch. I'm sure as we get a little deeper into this class, that though will revise. Now though, Nicolas Ricciucci, another chance for the Swiss. We're already 2 clears coming from Edouard Schmitz and Stig Gadat. Can they make it 3 with MC Gregor van ter Beek, 10-year-old gelding by Echo Venti Spieveld. That's helped the Swiss into the final on Sunday. 4. 3 to jump. Make that 8, and that, with it, is the chance gone. What a shame for Nicolas Rajucci. Look, turn his attention and focus now to that final round of jumping here tomorrow. But it is an 8-fault score there with MC Gregor van Terbeek for the Swiss International. And therefore, nothing within the 15 has changed for the first 2 that have gone in this second half of the opening round of jumping here for the Queen's Cup. Have Brazil, Marlon Zanatelli and Haric VDL. Brazil's number 1 in terms of world ranking position. He's just dropped outside of the world's top 10 in the latest list. He's now Longines world rank number 11. This ride since the back end of last year. They finished 3rd in the Longines King George V Gold Cup. Grand Prix at Hickstead. For Brazil in the Nations Cup. He's had a really good year, hasn't he? Won the big Grand Prix in Paris, 3rd in the big Grand Prix in Rome a few weeks back, and this is a horse that just is more and more part of his top string. Very consistent, lots of placings. And he's clear, and he's quick, and he's into 3rd, 68.96. So that'll be enough. You'll know that, we know that. 68.96 is under that 70-second marker, but I believe is what you definitely need to do if you want to be sure. So another clear round, and that of course brings up, what is that now, 10 clear rounds, 10 on a 0 score. 5 4-faulters holding on as it currently stands. That means Mark McCauley now on the bubble. There's the fastest of them, though. Julien Epilard, 68.78 at the moment. In that winning round, he will go last, and that will scare them all. The thought of Julien going last in any round against the clock to win the money is always going to keep things open right the way through to the end. Jack Ryan there as the second quickest, and Pedro Vinícius for Brazil now just displaced by Marlon Zanatelli, with Marlon slotting into 3rd place. So this is a chance for Mexico. Nicolas Pizarro, Atlantica de Sally Z. Mare by Atlantis van der Rosselhova. Plenty of good results with this horse. Mexico, Canada, USA made the trip out to Europe back in June, around then. Did very well in Aachen. Ranked inside the world's top 50, currently sits 47th on the Longines rankings. He has championship experience, the Olympics of 2012, the World Games of 2010. Well, it's the second from home that has gone down, and 71.39. Time-wise, he is in. Time-wise, it is quick enough, but will it be enough with so many more stars to go? Nicolas Pizarro just missing out on the clear with that second to last fence going down. It does, though, dislodge Mark McCauley out of those top 15 places. It moves Irma Karlsson now and Chakunu into the final qualifying spot for the winning round here. And at that time, 71.91 on the score of 4. Well, that looks like Germany next up, because it's Kirsten Kukuk, Nice Van Zoglit. Year-old mare, this beautiful mare by Emerald, out of a heartbreaker mare. Really has come on strong, put in some fabulous results in Rome in the 5-star, in Circus Maximus just a few weeks back. With Christian and Mumbai, his team right here this week. The big Grand Prix win. It was a very good September. Now will October follow on as we get another month underway. This partnership, though, have got stronger and stronger throughout the course of the year. It's a 9-year-old that has really come on. Win with this horse in the 4-star in Volkenswaard back in July, well, right at the end of July that was, this afternoon. Keeping up a really strong rhythm, coming round nice and forward into this final line. Now just sit and hold a little bit back towards the plank, which he's jumped, and he's very quick, 68.98. You've certainly obviously been able to watch the riders in the second half of the class, have been able to watch the riders in the first half of the class with a little bit more understanding, I'm sure, of exactly what strides they need between fences to make sure they can challenge. And that going into 4th place overall, it pushes us now onto 11 clear rounds. Unfortunately, it'll drop Irma Karlsson's 4-fault score out. It moves Johnny Powell's into 15th, but there are now only 4 fours holding on. Julian Epillard still the quickest clear. Jack Ryan, Marlon Zanatelli, the 1, 2, 3. Reverse order of merit in that winning round against the clock. This is the turn of Eduardo Alvarez Es Noir, another of the superstars for Spain. The 8-year-old enjoyed Alamia. Eduardo jumped the clear on full option to help Spain into 3rd place. Looking towards that final on Sunday. Really big result on home soil for the Spanish team. Well deserved. Back rail down, and fence 8, not a fence again above the water tray. That's really caused too many issues. This horse at the 5-star in Rome at the start of September. Certainly stepped up the levels in recent weeks, and that unfortunately is not enough for Spain then. Spain still holding on with 1 rider in the 15, Manuel Fernandez Saro, on that 4-fault score. He sits in 13th place, but his teammate in that Spanish team, Eduardo Alvarez Es Noir, unable to get into the qualifying bracket, the 15 that go forward. And if we squeeze a 4 or 2 in, again, just to remind you, they reset to 0 in that winning round. So again, with the way way it's going, I still think we'll end up with 15 clears. And perhaps it'll be a clear that misses out. There's a lot of jumping still to come. Next up, though, it's going to be Great Britain. The British riders with that one clear round coming from Joe Stockdale and Bingo de Chateau. Now the turn of Jodie Hall-McAteer with Hardessa, the mare, the 10-year-old, by Kashmir Van Schuterhoff, that she started with earlier this season, and just had the one fence down in the big class here yesterday evening. Jodie, who was part of the British quartet, but finished in 8th place in that opening round to get into the final on Sunday. That with her top ride, Salt and Pepper, that has been a very strong Grand Prix horse and Nations Cup horse this year. Tiny little taps of the toe. So far so good, but we've seen how tricky this final line has proved to be. Just tempts the riders in, attacking towards the end, and look how quick she is. This is a fast time, could be sub 70, but the last has gone. Oh, well, Christina Ribbett, her groom there with her head in her hands, and Jodie, well, that final line really does punish you. Oh, it was just trailing that tiny little hoof at the end, and there's the team. Dan Lampard and, of course, Stanley Van Passion looking after the British riders, but Jodie Hall-McAteer, what a shame for her at the moment. It was such a quick time on a score of 4. But it could have been a clear, and therefore their clears stay the same. She is, of course, the fastest, 4:67.47, the fastest times we've seen from anybody so far. But, well, whether it's enough, if it is, of course, she resets and hits the 0, but it puts her into 12th, and it has knocked out Johnny Powell's Nicolas Pizarro, Mexican rider. 4:71.39 is now the cut-off for that winning round, as now the turn of Trevor Breen. Jermaine W. here alongside his team ride, Highland President, that jumped that brilliant round in the Nations Cup to help the Irish into second place with the clear. Ooh, very much over to the right-hand side, Trevor. Big year with both of his horses at the top end of the sport. He's got some very strong rides. Started out the year down Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. Was part of the winning Irish Nations Cup team there, and this horse has actually been on a couple of Nations Cup teams this year. Also had a very good win in Dublin with this horse on home soil. Just like we've seen how tough it is. Play sensible, play safe. Clock just going to tick over the 70-second marker. Will it be enough? He's into the 10, into the top 10, and there's Caroline and the kids watching on for Trevor. So it is the clear, and that is into the top 10, and another 0 score, another that will hope they've done enough, and you start to think that perhaps that is enough So unfortunately for Nicolas Pizarro there, that will push him out, and then those 4 full scores. Well, there's only 3 of them left inside the 15 that qualify for the winning round. 2 clears from the Irish riders. Still though, the man that goes last, as it stands, the man most assured, is Julien Lepillard and Donatella Doge. This though is the Dutch challenge from Michael van der Vleuten, individual bronze medalist of the World Championships this year, to follow up that fabulous individual bronze at the Olympics last year. This horse is Karma van Dijken. It's a 12-year-old mare by Pleasure van Dijken, out of a Carthago mare. Towards that first fence. Lovely control coming into that combination. Did have a little look back, took that moment, everything you tell your children not to do when they're jumping fences, never look back. So tempting. He wanted to be sure he knew where he was. Hasn't looked the quickest round, but at the same time I think it could be a little bit deceptive. Going to get around that 70-second marker, and he's jumped the clear as well. Michael van der Vleuten will be happy that the middle part of the combination stayed up, because that meant they all stayed up, and he is now inside the top 10, 70.89. There's quite a few still to go, but again, confident, I'm sure, that he's done enough to get himself in to that winning round. Not a jump off class, this one. It's a winning round. It is about qualifying in the 15, the top 15 from the 56 that come forward. You've got to put yourself there if you're going to be in the battle for the €52,000 prize fund here in the Queen's Cup. Well, this man has certainly battled his way to some big wins this year. He had his first ever 5-star Grand Prix win back in July, that at the Longines Royal International Horse Show at Hickstead, when he won the 5-star King George V Gold Cup. He has had some strong results ever since. To be fair, he had a big win in London a few weeks later, and now here as part of the Belgium team that sit in equal 3rd place. In that Nations Cup. Belgium and the Swiss, the 2 teams looking to battle it out for an Olympic ticket for Paris as well on Sunday. Gilles Thomas then riding Feramos Van Beek Z, stallion by Fatamos de Musa. Cut off now, 15th place. There are only 2 4-fault rounds holding on. It's Jodie Hall-McAteer 14th, Alicia Gaban-Lewis sitting in 15th, 69.79 on a 4. Pressure really on these riders now. Mistakes pretty much going to put you out of place. This young man had such a phenomenal youth career, really marked himself out as one of the stars of the sport, and he's just found the transition into the top line international Sport's so very easy. He's made it look so easy, and he's making this look easy because look at that clock as well. He's going to be quick. He should be sub 70, and he is into the top 6 from Gilles Thomas, as he also goes clear to give us 14, and that right up there, as I said, when we got the second half of the draw underway, sub 70 seconds should be enough. And to give you an example now of where that sort of line up with the sub 70, because his was there into 6th place, wasn't it? So the top 10 or the top 9 placings, there's the fastest, Julien Epinard 68.78, but the top 9 are all under. I take that back, it's the top 8, 69.98, Steve Gadat sits in 8th, so that's what I'm saying. You've got to really push to get yourself under that marker if you're going to get yourself a guaranteed place in that winning round. So, only 1-4 at the moment going through. Jody Hall, McAteer and Hardessa. Then we'll be knocking the clears out in the qualification for that winning round. This is Spain now. Carolina Aresti-Garcia-Roberon riding Dawson's Flex. This is an Irish sports horse. It's only a 9-year-old by Flexibil out of a called Dalton Gold mare. Fence called out a couple early on, but really causing any trouble since. Rattling 1 or 2 coming up. Well, getting close to giving us the full 15 on the clear, and this will be popular because this is for Spain, and that is clear, and it's 69.86, again under the 70-second marker that has hopefully assured them of a place in that winning round. Carolina Aresti-Garcia-Roberon looking very, very good with Dawson's Flex. It's a horse that is going very, very well. It's had a few team appearances as well. They lost jumping in Bonheiden, but now super round for that 9-year-old. So it's clears all the way, and even with a clear, if it's not going to be quick, it's not going to be through. 73.86 is the cutoff point with a 0 score. Now that is what we're looking at from Jana Fredrika Mears element. Tesmu KJ, early clear at the moment on the bubble. Evelina Tovek then, as we continue for Sweden in this is a Katina 2-1-2. Year-old mare by Contendro. Oh, that's gone. Having said a moment ago how that fence caught a few people out early on, and it hasn't really bothered anyone since. Sweden, of course, had the most amazing world championships with their A string and their top line. Their year in the Division 1 on the Nations Cup Series hasn't quite been as good, and they're going to be jumping in the Challenge Cup tonight rather than the final tomorrow. But this coming home on the 4, despite how quick it looks to be, and it is quick again, 69.70, but it is a fence down, and now that is just not going to work. Clears only are what we need. And Evelina Tovek and Cortina trying hard. Certainly showing the pace, but unfortunately not having the luck with the one fence falling. It puts them out of any chance of getting in to that winning round. Just caught it coming down behind as well. They nearly got there. The focus moves now to Norway. We've seen a clear from Theresa Henriksen a little earlier on, Norwegian rider on Santos. That clear currently sitting in 13th place in the overall standings. This, though, is Norway, and the turn of Cecilie Hetteland riding Tarelle Z. Another experienced rider with championship performances for Norway. An 8-year-old, this mare by Toulon. Jumping with confidence, got a lovely little springy stride, short step. Just had to overcorrect a little bit to get the line, straighten things up. On the form, despite the rest of the round looking rather positive, and the time not as fast as it perhaps would have been. But at the end of it all, it is a score of 4, and despite plenty of applause, great crowd here today. They really are supporting everybody, but it is contention there for Cecilie Hetteland, then for Norway. Coming back through that combination. Next up is this man, the Longines world ranked number 2. World ranked number 2 is Martin Fuchs for Switzerland. He's riding here with Rameshof Upgrade, the 9-year-old, the gelding by Timo, out of a Malibet de Rouet mare. The big year. A year of big results, of course. The winner of the Longines FEI World Cup final back in April in Leipzig. Always bringing new horses through, always good to watch the progression we've seen. So the Ernie J and Connor J, Sinner and others being so strong in his stable, but yeah, here is another that is certainly becoming part of this team with Rameshof's Upgrade. Again, all the way over to the right hand side, sort of floated right in the air. Nice and forward. A little rhythm going here. Ah, Well, deja vu to what we saw a moment ago with the previous rider, and it happens again, this time though for the world number 2, Martin Fuchs. So he has that back rail down coming into the double. What had otherwise been a very strong round of jumping. And again on 4, and again, therefore, not forward into that winning round, and somehow, despite us getting to 15 clears for 15 places, now having to wait to see where that next clear may come from. Because there are only 15 spaces. As we've said a few times, it'll be a case now, jump clear, jump quick, and start to knock out some of those slightly slower clear rounds that we've seen earlier in the competition. It really is going to keep us on the edge of our seats right the way through to the last to see who, how, where and when gets through. This though is Beth Underhill. This is Mademoiselle A for Canada. This is a lady that has ridden 2 World Championships. She rode in Barcelona, right here in Barcelona at the Olympics back in '92, and then back on the World Championship team in Herning this year. That of course though was with Nika van der Bischkop. Today riding here with a Mademoiselle A, 10-year-old mare by Orlando out of a Cardento mare. Rider, so experienced, really good rhythm, pace around this course. They'll all be so acutely aware that you really can't take a pull at the moment if you want to try and get yourself nevertheless clear but quick enough to be safely inside those top 15 slots that go through. She's done everything right so far. It is coming down to these final 2 fences, and that is the back rail. Just a little bit too far off as she came round the corner, 71.95. And 4 it is as a score for Beth Underhill then, with a Mademoiselle A. So disappointment, very, very close. Time would have been fast enough with the clear, but we still wait to see, because still 15 clears for 15 places. Final line has been costly to so many, whether it be that parallel or whether it be the plank that follows at the end. It is the end of the dreams of quite a few in this opening round of jumping. Next to go, staying over in the Americas, but going to South America now, because it is Brazil, and this is the turn of Cortesia Gonçalves de Azevedo Pilo. Sierra de Peredrux Z. Chance for Brazil. Because Brazil have had some good rounds already in this. When you consider that you've got Marlon Zanatelli sat in 3rd and Pedro Muniz currently sat in 5th. Fence going down, ending the chance. And the other thing we should remember now, that the combination we're watching is the first of the final 15 to go. So as every round now gets completed or a fence goes down, we can start to tick off the qualifiers for that winning round from the top down to that final round and that final place as to who's going to get in. Challenge for the money. Coming back here to these final 2 fences on the 2 down. It's an 8 scored, and And 8 is where they stay. So unfortunately there, it is 8. So that was an 8-year-old by Hunter Skendix, as you'd have come to expect. Even before we got into the final 15, Julien Epillard, who leads at the moment on the 9-year-old Donatella Doge, is assured of his place now in that winning round. To be fair, it would have needed some freaky miracle for that to have ever changed from the moment we saw it. And when did Julien go? He was so early on in the class. He was only the 3rd rider to go. He was the 2nd of the clears. We said at the time it will act as quite a marker, and it certainly has. Now it's the turn of Spain. Alfonso Roque Guerrero riding Con Artist. Gelding by Conair 7 out of a Conado mare. Experienced horse. Just looks like it's doing enough. It's tapped and rattled 1 or 2 of the poles, in fact probably 3 or 4 of the poles so far. That is a tap too many. Jack Ryan assured of his place in the winning round as well on Guppy VDL. Still feel all of those under the 70-second mark with a clear were always going to be safe, but that is at the end of it all not to be for that combination for Spain of Alfonso Roque-Guerrero. There they finish on the full 72-78 with Con Artist. Another 13 to jump in the opening round of this €52,000 Queen's Cup. Precursor to tonight's Challenge Cup, when we see those teams that finished outside of the top 8 in the Longines FEI Jumping Nations Cup final come back to battle it out between themselves. Mateus Larocca for Argentina will be part of that equation later. Now he's here with RR Vitali. 9-year-old again. This is a stallion by Cornet de Lis out of a Nimidor mare. Being able to become an important part of Argentina's setup for World Championship team member through to many other Nations Cups over the course of this year. He originally started out riding for the Swiss before moving over and becoming part of the Argentine setup. Still clear. 2 tricky fences left to go. Rattle. stayed. Time looks okay. Will it be in? Should it be good? Yes, it is. And it's into the 15. And there we have it. He's just in, 13th in the order. We'll have to wait. He's just that little bit down, 72.01 in terms of the time. But for the moment, it's good enough. For the moment, it's through. And therefore, disappointment for that opening clear that we saw. The second combination in, Jana Fredrika Meyer-Zimmermann, the German star, on Chesmu, drop out of the 15 in the winning round. So qualification, of course, is what we need, and that is in for the moment for Mateusz Salorocca there. So up at the top, Marlon Zanatelli knows he's in on Harwich. Meanwhile, Mario Stevens, Starissa for Germany, another chance for the German riders. Mario jumped in the Nations Cup final for the EEF series, that second division that was. This horse, a 9-year-old by Staccato Gold. Done well in some good Grand Prix in Hagen and Leipzig this year. Kukuk sat up there in 4th place at the moment. Should be, of course, fine. Down, he's nearly home, and time looks like he should be good enough for the 15, and he is just shy of the top 10, but he is clear and he is in. Mario Stevens with another fine performance on Starissa. Really lovely 9-year-old there, 70.57. So just outside the top 10, goes in to 11th place. That pushes out. Let's just remind ourselves that pushes out big Longines Junior. So one of the 2 Argentine riders that have jumped clear alongside Mateusz Salorocca are Jose now that is dropped outside of the 15, and Teresa Henriksen for Norway, 72.97 is the cutoff. It's getting quicker and quicker. And well, we'll see. Still 11 to go in the opening round of the Queen's Cup here for the Segura Virus Trophy. Now Kevin Staub, Visconti du Tillman, this super mare that has been such a big part of his stable European Championship ride last year. Comes this big blue parallel. Source and Kevin, part of the winning Nations Cup team in the Division 1 round at Hickstead this year. well. 68-62. France are not only first, they're first and second. And Kevin Stautz says anything Julien Epinard can do, I can do better. That is assured riding from a very talented partnership that know each other so well. And experience on occasions really does count, and it was experience there for horse and rider. Kevin never looked flustered. He never really looked like he was rushing, but he was so smooth, and he knows the ride so very well. So Visconti now has 68-62. You can see those that know they've qualified, and Kevin pushing himself up there, and it's the 15 slots that are available. It has, of course, as one gets in, one drops out, and that pushes out the Norwegian combination of Therese Henriksen and Matthias Larocca, who only went clear about 4 or 5 rides ago, if that. In fact, it was only 3 rides ago, is now on the bobble down in 15:72.01. Joel Vaness, Russell, Krypton, SC. Another chance for Spain. 10-year-old by Calvaro FC. First part of the combination means we know it won't be possible. Well, in Coruña back in the summer, recently in Gijón. First to the final, 10 to go, and that goes to make it 8. Just pick up time for it. No, it's just inside. So we're 78 seconds was the time allowed. 8 it is as a score. 2 fences down and out of play. So Joel Vaness on sell there on that 8-fault score, then nothing changing within the top 15. It'll ensure that Christian Kukuk, who currently sits in 5th place on Nice Vanselgliet, is through to the winning round. And as it stands, Larocca 72.01 still sits in 15th place, holding on at the moment. Plenty of people here today, great to see how busy it is. Always a popular weekend here in Spain, in Barcelona, and for the sport. Now the turn of Michael Pender. Ooh, and the first fence goes down on HHS Los Angeles. And of course, with it goes his chance of getting in to the winning round. This 8-year-old mare, the Irish sport horse Leroy, out of a Cavalier Royale mare. Like he who had that massive 5-star Grand Prix win in Valkenswaard at the end of August, and enough is enough today with the young one, the 8-year-old, with the fences down, and up goes the hand, and out goes Michael Pender for Ireland. And still the 15 remain the same, but that ensures that Pedro Vinis and Bocquins Norpetti Jr. now qualify. They currently sit in 6th place, and they know their places are locked in for that winning round, the deciding round, with now just these final 8 to go. Riders still for the Netherlands, Belgium, Canada, Sweden, Spain, Switzerland, Brazil, with riders left in the mix. Jenny Schulman, groom for this man watching on, Jevreeling, riding here with Fernando H, the stallion, the 12-year-old. By Calvino. Grand Prix in London this year. He also finished third back in a big 5-star Grand Prix in Doha in the early part of the season. Part of the silver medal winning team as well of the World Championships for the Dutch team. World Championship ride in the Nations Cup, John for 4, the Dutch sitting in equal 5th place, going through to Sunday. Maybe, but down goes the rail, pressing on, although with that second fence down, I wonder if he'll continue all the way through to the finish. It's 2 fences down as he comes towards the double, just not firing on the cylinders they're used to today, as he is going to retire now with 3 falling. Mathieu Vrieling retiring on Fernando H. So Gilles Thomas has qualified. Belgium with a rider in the winning round with Fermos Van Beek Z. Gilles, he sits in 7th place now through to that winning round. And next up on the list, looking to get through, will be 8th place as Carolina Aresi Garcia Oberon for Spain, which will certainly please the home crowd if that one can find its way in to the winning round of the Queen's Cup. Beautiful day, beautiful conditions, beautiful setting here in Barcelona. So there was the fence that first went. Didn't really do a huge amount or anything wrong. Horse trying, but just dragging that rail down. Now the turn of Belgium again, this time Olivier Philipparts and Cap du Marais. Cap du Marais, the 10-year-old gelding by Kenan and Valando Resme. Safely through the combination. Tricky final line. He's kept up a nice rhythm. Will he be fast enough as well, though? Got to be clear. And he's looking to beat a time of 72.01, and he's under the 70 seconds. He's certainly done enough, I would say. 69.85. So a nice round there. It means that Gilles Thomas is assured of a place, and now into 8th, just behind Gilles. In terms of the round lineup, he'll go just before him. Olivier Philipparts and Cap du Marais. I'm sure that is enough. Under the 70-second marker is what they need, and I've said that for ages. There are 11 of them that have managed it, but that is also just pushed out now. Matthias La Rocca and R.R. Vitali, who only jumped to clear some 6 horses ago. And now there are 6 left to go. Kyle Tim, Canada, Varezzo jumped clear yesterday, and really nice round last night in the big class under the lights. And this is a new ride. It's only about their 3rd show together as a partnership. This is a gelding by Arezzo Vidiel, So, with Mateus La Roca dropping out, Ireland's Trevor Breen, Jermaine W. now on the bubble. They are on the cut-off line. But the time is that little bit different. 70.97. You're now looking for under 71 seconds, which is a whole second quicker than we saw the time for Mateus La Roca, who's just dropped out. But it goes back to the original point. You sound round in under 70 seconds and you're pretty much there. Running out of horses. Not as good as last night after the clear last night before today. So still Trevor Breen holding on to a place in the winning round of the Queen's Cup. And then there were five more to go. Impact on those assured of places now in that winning round, because Olivia Philippart's definitely through, and as is Carolina Aresi Garcia Oberon. The Swiss rider, with just these 5 more left to jump confirmed. This is Stephanie Hulman and Delma Hashtag. The riders that are waiting to find out: Steve Cadat in 11th, Joe Stockdale 12th, Mario Stevens 13th, Michael van der Vleuten 14th, Trevor Breen in 15th. Again, here is this lady, played her role importantly in many of Nations Cup outings this year. This mare looking good by heartbeat, Swedish warm blood 10-year-old. Will the time be good enough? If she jumps it, will she be quick enough? Wait for the clock. No. No, still Trevor Breen holds on despite the clear. There's the moment where she saw the scoreboard and realised that it is just a fraction too slow. 70.97 is that cut-off line. And she did the hard bit in terms of the clear. Couldn't really ask much more. So Steve Cadat is definitely in. Next to qualify would be Joe Stockdale with Bingo de Chateau. Still waiting and watching is Trevor Breen at the moment, 15th and first to go in the winning round. 2 for Spain, 1 for Switzerland and 1 for Brazil. That is what we've got still left in round 1. Here is Sierra Martinez Guerrera riding Miano Nigra van der Boxtel. Back, picking up the canter, getting ready to go. Here we are, matted and ready. There's the bell to start this round off. Clear round required. So that is unfortunate. This is a horse that is a 6-year-old. He's won the bronze medal at the World Young Horse Championships in Larkin with Diego Ribas da Costa. Fences falling. Of course, Joe Stockdale, Bingo de Chateau, the British Challenge, is into the winning round. And it's going to be some round when we get there. The lineup is absolutely brilliant. It is just improving with every round of jumping. That is, though, it. With fences down for Sira Martinez Carrera there, finishing on a total of 8, 77.80. With Nana Negra, Vanderbilt tail. 10-year-old by Manuel Cardago, and of a Concord mare. 3 left, 3 riders waiting to find out their fate. Mario Stevens 13th, Michael van der Vleuten in 14th, and most importantly, I guess, the man in 15th, Trevor Breen, is the first of the final 3. Swiss riders have been going well already today. Now can Piers Schwitzer follow it up with Christina? Difficult round yesterday evening. These two didn't quite click like we would have perhaps expected them to. Was a new ride that he picked up in the middle of the year. He went very well though recently in Valence. Such an experienced jockey. So far, looking much calmer. Pierce, who's always got that sort of natural flow to his riding, always on the forward stride, never seems to be slow. Today, I think he's also just having to play a little bit careful. Saying that was quite a turn coming back round, and just this final 2 fences left in front of him, and the time is looking good. This will be quick enough if he can jump the last, and that he's done. And look how fast he is. Deceptive or what? Naturally fast. 67.98. He shaved seconds out of what we thought we'd seen as a quick time, and now it's Piers Schwitzer and Christina, the rule the roost, going into the winning round. That was brilliant. Determination on the face. Big turnaround yesterday. It's all clicked today for those two. So superb for the Swissman. There's the lineup at the top. Of course, Pierce will go last in the winning round of the Queen's Cup. As it stands, there are still 2 to go. Look at all the qualifiers down the list they go. The top 10 all safely in, and then it's below here if we flip the card. There you can see the 3 that wait, because Joe Stockdale not guaranteed as of yet. In fact, guaranteed, I would have thought, there's only 2 to go. Unless my list is wrong, but we'll go by what's on the screen for a minute. I'll get that confirmed, but I think Joe Stockdale is in. But what it does mean is Trevor Breen is out. Michael van der Vleuten's on the bobble. Mario Stevens is also waiting. As far as I know, there are just 2 to go. So this then is Francisco Jose Mosquito Musa. Jumped well here yesterday. Was in that second round last night. This is Country Marathon, and that is the chance gone. leave with it, it means Mario Stevens is in to the winning round. So it is just Michael van der Vleuten, the Olympic and world bronze medalist, that is waiting to find out. And that'll come down to the last to go's performance. That's where I think we're going to retire. Here we are. 1 to go. They'll certainly have their chances, but it's just not Francisco José in round number 2. So 1 left. 1 more challenge in the opening round of the Queen's Cup here in Barcelona. And it's going to be a Spanish challenge as well. Here he is, Alex Codina-Lira, riding My Passion Vantopahova. 10-year-old Belgian warm blood by For Passion Dave Z out of a Liga de Swimmer. A man that was on the Rider European Championship team this year. He's been a part of that youth championship setup. This class here 12 months ago, and a few 5 stars through the winter, both in Coruña and in Madrid. Needs to go clear and needs to be quicker than 70.89 if he's going to get himself in to the top 15 and into the winning round. It's all been about qualifying all the way from the first to the last. It's about finding your way in to the round where you can win this thing. And, total of 52 thousand euros worth of prize money to be divided upon them. What a lineup. I think there'll be much holding back from any of them when we get into that round. Well, Michael van der Vleuten is in and will be first to go on Karma van Eyck, and Spain will just have the 1 coming back in the winning round. Over the last time would have been quick enough as well. 67.72. He done what he needed in terms of the clock. It's very fast. Interestingly, the later and the deeper we've got into the class, it's almost like the riders have found it easier to go quicker. Alex Codina-Lira there round, and that is that 1 single fence that cost him. Yep, there we have it. The pain on the face. Supporters all passionately willing him on to great success, but 15 are through. Bischwitzer's the quickest, Kevin Stout, Julien Epilar, Jack Ryan, Marlon Zanatelli and Christian Kukuk. And if you think about it, that's the final 6 to go. What a stellar lineup. But before them, Pedro Venice, Gilles Thomas, Olivia Philippart, Carolina Aresi Garcia Obron, Edouard Schmitz, Stieg Gadat, and then when we flip the page, you'll see the others. Joe Stockdale, Mario Stevens and Michael van der Vleuten. Those are the 15 that come back. It's a hard luck story, but it's that type of class for the clears that didn't get through, and there were 5 of those. But it was all about qualification. It was all about being in the 15 that could see you come back in that winning round. No end of riders finishing as well on a score of 4. Beautiful course yet again. Santiago Valera, our amazing course designer, here once more in Barcelona. But it is amazing sport that we have enjoyed. The edge of your seat stuff in the opening round. Now we can get set to go even quicker when we up the pace for the winning round. Who is going to lift the Queen's Cup, the Segura Villares Trophy in 2022 here at the CSIO in Barcelona? We are right in the heart of the city, this very beautiful heart of Spain. And of course, with the Challenge Cup tonight for the Longines FEI Nations Cup final, and the final itself tomorrow. Team jumping, of course, will be coming our focus, but right now it's an individual affair. We get set for the winning round of the Queen's Cup for the Segura Villares Trophy back in Madrid. Here's the lineup as we get set for that winning round, and there you have it. Mario Stevens is going to be the first to go. So the end of the 14th have found their way back in. So then, as you run through the order all the way through to Piers Schwitzer, is Mario Stevens though that'll go first. Then Joe Stockdale, Steve Gaddad, Bart Schmitz, Garcia Abron, Olivia Philippon, Gilles Thomas, Pedro Vidias, Christian Kukuk, Marlon Zanatelli, Jack Bryan, Julian Epilar, Kevin Stout, and Piers Schwitzer. Exciting new course as well, with a total of still out at the moment. 9 jumping efforts in the winning round, 54 seconds. What a beautiful shot that is. See though, just a few more adjustments and alterations being made to the course. As preparations underway, we'll take you through the winning round in a moment. Just about set, I think, for this winning round of jumping to decide ultimately who takes the lion's share of the €52,000 prize fund in the Queen's Cup, the Segura Herreras Trophy. The round will decide it all amongst the what is going to be 14 of them that come back, I believe, in this round. Final touches out there just being put to the course by Santiago Vieira and his team, Boris, Isabel Ferez de Cantera, Grigori Goriev and Mati Caretta. Plenty of options, plenty of room as well, and lots to think about when the gallop begins in a moment or two and the lineup compete. Big jumping coming your way later on. Right now, we can focus on the individual action, the last of the individual classes to take place here in Barcelona this year. Teams there putting the final touches to the floor, which is say world-class fabulous footing as always. It's such a popular place to come. With such an important date in the diary, end of September, beginning of October. That finals weekend for the Longines FEI Nations Cup Series. So it's travelled the globe since it started back in Abu Dhabi in January. Those teams and these riders through here to the final. But the lineup, well, see Fitz, what a round that was on Christina to be able. Really didn't look like it was pushing. You just wonder how much speed is in the tank. But then you've got the likes of Julien Epilar as well. Kevin Stout, another who will actually be second from the end. He was quicker than Julien. Those final three, but then before them as well, it is exciting from start to finish. The man that looks like he's getting ready to go first just made his way from the warm-up through to the arena.
He's kicking, be careful.
It's going to be Mario Stevens first to go. Ooh. Just holding him there at the gate with Starissa. There's the fanfare to open the course, open the round. So. Here we go. It is winning round time for the Queen's Cup. Mario Stevens, Starissa the first out. 2 for Germany. 2 for Germany, 2 for Switzerland. 2 for Brazil, 2 for France. But you got 3, haven't we, for Switzerland? Look at the turns, getting himself ready. All eyes upon him. It's the calm before the storm right now. Here we go. So they're going to start over this Kieksa Bank fence in reverse, and then they're going to loop back on themselves to another new fence. It's the Longines FEI Nations Cup fence at 15. They're right-handed on the curve to what was fence 1, and then on their way down to fence 2. Right-handed again now, fence 3, the Longines fence, and then it'll be left-handed back to that double that came late in the course, the parallel to the upright, 9A, 9B. Landing there in 31 seconds. Twisting back, 2 still to jump. Now again, charge towards home. So a long run across this arena all the way down to this white upright to finish it off as they land over the last. Sets the standard with a clear, 42.62. That is what was needed. Had to be clear when you think about it, with still a lot of talent to follow. So the clear round on the board for the first to go. Mario Stevens sets the standard, 42.62. Next to go. Joe Stockdale for Great Britain with Bingo de Chateau. The 11-year-old looked really good in the opening round, and he's found his way into this winning round. Now what could he do? That standard set by Mario Stevens as the first to go was clear, 42.62. Joe's impressive clear with his top ride, Equine America Cacharel, the British team, and into the final tomorrow. But this is all about individual action now. Put in a really strong round back in London with this horse. Finished in 3rd that day in the big 5-star class. Test himself again today against a really world-class lineup in the winning round of this Queen's Cup. Needs to land out of this double in around 31 seconds. He's quicker, he's a second faster. Just to hold the horse off the front rail. Now he can come from home, he's just got to find his way there. 42.62 with the last goes, and 42.99 became the time. The horse just gave a little buck flick and a kick as it landed over the second from home, and I think that just meant the balance was just perhaps a little bit out of joint. What a shame. He'd done nothing else wrong. He had to just apply a little bit of pressure. Wasn't able just to sail all the way to the last like he might have wanted to. But nevertheless, into the winning round he was. So, the score. Still Germany leading the way. Mario Stevens has put the pressure on with the clear. Next to go. And Steve Gadat. It's the turn of the Swiss. What can he do with this horse? Double Joe de Honvolt, a 9-year-old. As I said when he jumped his opening round, really excited for the horses he has going forward. See just how quick this one can be on the angle. Look at that. Land and turn tight as you like. Now down it goes. Doesn't matter how tight you are now, he's just pushing. He hasn't slowed down. He's going to go for the fastest round he can, even with the 4. Asking questions. Similar time to Joe Stockdale as he landed out of the double. Joe lost a little bit coming here. 4 full time, 42.99 to try and get himself up there into second, but it won't be fast enough. 43.70, and will go 3rd. Mario Stevens from the front. We saw this last night, didn't we? In that big class yesterday evening, the first to go. It was Andre Them. Well, set a time nobody else could beat, as Mario Stevens done the same here on Starissa, 42.62. A quick clear going early and then really forcing the others to race can sometimes work in your favour. You get the feeling the lineup, especially with there being 15 of them, it could be a tough job. Well, the Swiss Let's have another go. Because this is the turn of Edouard Schmitz. Babylon des Herbals. Been one of the breakthrough stars, the Swiss. Some very strong talent, not only with their horses, but of course with their riders. Little rub, 42.62, then still that leading time. As quick as he can. He's there or thereabouts when he's trying to challenge Mario Stevens, but Mario was so fast here, but that was quick as well. Now we come home and he's now beginning to gallop, pushing all the way through to the finish, and down it goes at 42.19. Time was going to be good enough. He would have got into the lead. The fence means it's second. It is a real race, but I think Mario Stevens has done enough from the front to really make this difficult. It is hard work. So, hard work is at the moment being rewarded for Mario Stevens. He just rolled the dice. He just gambled a little bit on that run down towards the final fence with Babylon. And Edouard Schmitz there, as quick as he was, the fence going down. Next up, the challengers continue. Now it's the turn of Spain, and this is Caroline Garcia-Oberon and Dawson's Flex, the 9-year-old Irish sports horse. Spain's one chance in the winning round of the Queen's Cup here. The Segura Lieres Trophy. Huge support here in Barcelona for this lady. They're all behind her. Halfway round. Look for the split, but a clear round, of course, at the moment puts you second, whatever happens. She's going to be slower, and with a fence down. Try to play sensible and get the clear, but that is punished by a fence falling. What a shame for her. So Carolina Garcia-Oberon there, and Dawson's Flex finishing on the 4, and puts her in to 5th place. So still one clear round, still Mario Stevens for Germany, and Starissa leading from the front and relatively moving up the order from his position at the end of the opening round. But it is all about this winning round. This is what it's come down to. There's the order. The one clear out in front, 42.62. Only one time, even on a 4, that is quicker, but it is tight at the top. Clear rounds are going to pay you yet bigger and bigger dividends the more we move in to this winning round. This is the first of 2 for Belgium now. Olivier Philipparts and Cap de Maris. A couple of tough rounds, both in the Nations Cup and last night. It was a real positive round for Olivier here in that first round, and just looked really confident. First, if anyone, to challenge Mario's 42.62. Who's going to give us the second clear? Just angling the horse a little bit just to try and save himself a stride or half a stride. Anything you can do. And to the double. Quicker again than Mario Stevens, and by about a second. Now he's coming towards home. Olivier Philippard's racing to the finish on Cap de Marais. It's 42.62 to beat. He has jumped the last and he has got into the lead. 41.47. A fabulous performance, full of confidence and class. And Belgium now lead Germany. And it is 2 clears at the top, and the time is quicker still, 41.47. Well, I think he said I could have taken one out. I don't know, maybe he's just given Gilles, who's just walked in past him, a little bit of a clue as to anything he could have done different. But either which way, he's done what he needed to do. He is quick, he is clear, and at the moment he is in the lead. And now it's over to you, because Gilles Thomas next up. Olivier Philippard's leading, Mario Stevens. Those are the top 2. Those are the 2 that are clear. That is what ultimately counts. As quick as you need to be, the fencers need to stay where they stand. So it's the turn of Gilles Thomas and Feremas van Beek Z for Belgium. New time, 41.47. Needs to land out of the double in around 30 seconds. Down to the right. Then to the left. There's such long runs between some of the fences, you've really got to gallop. And he's quicker, 29 as he landed. He's found a second on Olivier Philippard's. Belgium lead at the moment, but it's the young star that's coming home, chasing that 41.47 to go to the top of the leaderboard. Oh no, it's gone again. 41.23. The time, well, the time was certainly there. But that final fence has caught another, and just like we saw with Edward Schmitz a short while ago, when you really fly towards the last, you can sometimes find that last flies with you. Front left hoof, tiny little tap on the way up. Time was there, but that then will put Gilles Thomas into 3rd place. But that's not what he's not going to want to hear that, because of course that's sort of full score, and at the moment it is just the 2 that are clear. Seven to go. Pedro Vinícius now, Bachmann's Lord Petty Jr. It's Brazil, the first of 2 riders in this winning round for Brazil. Very experienced, these 2 know each other well. Gets the angle over the first. Did this yesterday. Has to lose half a second every time it does a little buck. To be fair to Pedro, it doesn't unsettle him. He knows the horse so well, but you know you've got to try and push the horse back up a gear. And at the moment he's making it just about work for himself. He is nearly there in terms of the time. He's just got to leave the last fence up, and he's got to find a time that is quicker than 41.47 to put Brazil in the lead. And 41.85, it's gone into second. 3 clears we have, and it's so tight at the top. And that, in this sport, is where those little bucks can really cost you, because you're talking 0.4 of a second between the top 2. And it is those sorts of moments that can perhaps just make the difference, that turning moment. But nevertheless, take nothing away from either of them. It was a stellar performance, and Pedro getting the best out of what he could with Bachmann's or Pezzi Jr. to move into second place. Mario Stevens down into 3rd. It is now Belgium, Brazil, Germany, the 1, 2, 3 here in Barcelona. There you have it, 41.47 leading. 3 clears in the 1, 2, 3. That leading time has proved to be beatable by Gilles Thomas, but not with a clear. Next up, Germany's second go. Really impressive 9-year-old. This one is Christian Kukuk's ride. This is Nice van Zorgliet. some very strong results, and Christian is in a very rich vein of form at the moment. He will mean business. Well, it all matters not. Now the chase is on for fourth, and in a class that is carrying €52,000 worth of prize money. Being the fastest four here this afternoon could make quite a payout. Slower than plenty of the other fours, but he's trying to keep it on the four. So 40 into the 8th position. There we have it, into 8th, who's just faster than Carolina for Spain. Christian Kukuk there with the one fence down. It's even clear for at the moment though in this winning round, and we're down now to the final 5. Brazil, Ireland, 2 for France, 1 for the Swiss, as it approaches 5 to 5 here in the evening in Barcelona. It's just gone according to Longines. It is 4 minutes to 5, maybe 3. This is Brazil's second go. Marlon Zanatelli, Halic, VDL. Combination that have had really consistent results together. They had that 3rd place in the 5-star Grand Prix, the Longines King George V Gold Cup at Hickstead, together just about a month, 2 months ago. Can he do anything about that leading time that we have seen come from Olivia Philippines? No. First fence goes down, little tap to say we need to do better than that. Just to get the horse back in front of his leg. So still Olivia Philippines is going to lead. Still Pedro Vinicius is going to sit second and Mario Stevens in third. Whether Marlon can put any pressure on those 4 full rounds, we will see. He's kept up a very good pace. He's sort of leading pace realistically. He lands to go into 5th, 41.61. Second fastest of the fours. He's a fraction faster than Joe Stockdale, but a fraction slower than Eduard Schmitz. For Brazil's Marlon Madonna Zanatelli there to ensure that at the moment we still just have 3 that are clear in this winning round, with 4 more left to go. It's just that moment at the start, jumping, and of course they will try to turn a little bit or angle it in the air, but they're trying to start the turn to be able to roll back round the corner. So Ireland and Jack Ryan, this looks to be an exciting ride for the young Irishman as he looks around before he starts. This is Guppy, VDL. Michael Blake watching on, Irish chef to keep, team manager, that has also got the Irish in second going into the final tomorrow. Jack part of that with BBS McGregor, and dropped the clear on Thursday to help Ireland make sure they were right up there. But this is an exciting horse. Not had the most shows together. He rode it early in the season, then in the last month has had a few shows with it. Oh, 2 in a row, deja vu. Anything Marlon can do, Jack can do too. Oh. And still, Olivia Philippines is going to be leading the way. Well, it's a long ride round. Once you've had the first down, it is still a new partnership, in all fairness to Jack. As I said, they have only had a few shows together, and I'm sure it is a combination that will get stronger and stronger. It's good to see he's getting more horsepower alongside McGregor, but Jack today on the 4 and outside of the top 10. So still Olivier Philippart, Pedro Vinis and Matteo Stevens, the 1, 2, 3, but now so your seatbelts and hold tight. Here we go with the final 3, and what a lineup this is. 2 for France and 1 for the Swiss, and now we start with somebody who is widely known as one of the fastest riders in the world of show jumping. Can they bring it all together here though with this horse, Julien Epillard? Right. Is the 9-year-old Donatella Dosh. Well, he only has one way, the Julien Epillard way, and he's got over the first. That is a case of 3 times in a row. Now we can go. And an absolute flat-out gallop here. Julien Epillard is eating up this course. Look how quick he is. This is lightning in Barcelona. He's 3 seconds quicker as he lands out of the double and turns to the final 2 here in the Queen's Cup. What a shot into the second from last. He cannot go any faster. 41.47 was the time to beat. That was simply sensational. Absolutely unreal. When you let him go, and when he goes, unbelievable. Julien Epillard and Donatella Doge showing just how good they are. He is so comfortable at that pace. There are very, very few in this sport that are able to ride like that. That is a unreal round. 38.46, visually quick, but the clock never lies. That was quick. Well, have we just seen the winning round in this winning round of the Queen's Cup here, or will one of the fastest 2 from the opening round be able to do anything about it? Julien was so early in the draw in Simon Telès there, and the rest of the team watching on. Now it's the turn of Kevin Staub, and he's got his great ride, Visconti du Telmont, with him. They know each other well enough, and even Julien is at the bat now watching on, thinking, is it enough? Will one of the final 2, the final 2, both know what is needed? They're both capable, but they're going to need everything, and they're going to need it all to come right. And at the moment, Kevin Staub is doing everything right. Sailing around this fabulous sand surface. He's there or thereabouts. He might just be a half a second away. He got a lovely turn back into the second from home, and he knows he cannot leave anything on the table if he's going to challenge 38.46, and he jumps the last to go into second. That was a brilliant effort. World class again, this time for France with Kevin Staub. Well, the French riders mean business. They lead the Longines FEI Jumping Nations Cup going into the final tomorrow. And at the moment, they're first and second here in the Queen's Cup on this beautiful Saturday evening in Barcelona. What a class this is giving us, and we're not done yet, because there is still one more to go. It is an uphill challenge when you are chasing Julien Epillard in that sort of form. But this man is no slouch when it comes to going against the clock, and I get the feeling he will give his everything. This is another 9-year-old. It is Christina, the ride of Piers Schwitzer. Is it France's day, or is it a day for the Swiss? You can see from the off, Julien Epillard meant business. Piers Schwitzer cannot leave anything on the table if he is to do this. Very good turn back. Now, losing. And it is over. Still young, still learning. Cristina with the fence down. Julian Epillard has put in a virtuoso performance here in Barcelona. Marks to him, to Kevin Staub as well in second. And of course, come to the order in a minute, because coming down to the last on that score of 4 to finish it off. Oh, it becomes 8. Is that round that we see finish it off? It's Bischwitzer there and Cristina, which means it is the win for Julien Epillard and Donatella Doge that take the top spot. Really strong. What a performance. I have to say, I will look forward to going back later and watching that round from Julien again and again and again, because it was absolute lightning, and he just went with it. He put the pressure on the last 2 to go, and that pressure telling there with Bischwitzer. But here it is, the full final lineup. It is a win for France, and second for France with Julien Epillard and Kevin Staub. Olivier Philippart, Pedro Vinis, Mario Stevens and Gilles Thomas, the top 6 here in the Queen's Cup. And Marlon Zanatelli, Edouard Schmitz, Joe Stockdale, Steve Cadat giving you the top 10 here in this winning round competition. Pearce at the end, the only rider to finish on 8 faults. What a shame for him as he drops down to the back. So, what sensational sport we have had on a Super Saturday. And of course the Challenge Cup to come up a little later with more action in the FEI Jumping Nations Cup. Longines FEI Jumping Nations Cup. The teams that didn't get through to the final jump under the lights tonight, and then the final itself here tomorrow. But we are going to set things up here on the arena floor for the presentation of awards for the Queen's Cup, and we'll come back and take you through those award ceremonies in a few minutes' time. What a afternoon of sport, what a winning round. Let's enjoy the presentations as soon as the horses come in a few minutes' time. Challenge Cup. Tonight at 9 o'clock will be our focus here in Barcelona. But right now, our winner, Julien Epilard, coming into line, the top of the line, in the centre of our winner here on Donatello Doge. I would implore you, recommend you, if you missed it for some reason with us now, go back and watch it, because it is well worth it to see that sort of pace and commitment from a horse and from a rider, and them able to do it together and absolutely destroy the opposition, as he is more than capable of doing. He has risen and risen through the rankings this year, and of course now world number 5 in those Longines rankings. He is for France, Julien Epilard. Exciting class and exciting times ahead for that combination. And what a title to put on their card as well. There's the trophy, the Queen's Cup. Beautifully historic trophy here. The Segura Vireras trophy, as is today, being presented to Julien Epilard. Oop. It's easy done. They're not stuck down. So Julien and Donatello Doge there. The San Francisco, the 9-year-old by Janak, and a Hello Pirville for the Hello Holdings. Come more awards. And congratulations. 17,000 euros richer as well. Beautiful Magnum. Enjoy that tomorrow. Concentration for France now, looking ahead to tomorrow as they lead the Longines FEI Nations Cup final, going into the final day, the only team on a clear after the opening day, and well, second today and clear as well with Viking in the Nations Cup. But today on the wonderful Visconti de Tillman, Kevin Stout put in as an equally impressive performance. On any other day you would have thought perhaps would have been unbeatable, and you'd be cheering from the rooftops with that performance. It was fantastic. It's just you had Julien in the jump off doing what Julien does, and he's almost, if not unbeatable, when he is in that sort of form. And Kevin Stout, as quick as he was, and he certainly had to fly to try and beat this man who really had put the pressure on, Olivier Philippart, for Captain Marie, having a much better Saturday after a couple of difficult days in the saddle. Now really looking strong, and that'll give him a big boost. And certainly Belgium, of course, trying to get themselves ahead or stay ahead of the Swiss team in that Nations Cup final tomorrow, because there's an Olympic qualification spot for the team in play to go to Paris. Pedro Vinis there, Bachmann's Lord Pezzi Jr., 2 good days in the individual classes for them. And Mario Stevens for Germany ends up in 5th place. Of course, the difficult challenge of going first in that winning round, never easy. Last night, to be fair, Andre Fiem showed that it could be done from the front, but this was a much bigger class and many more, 14 of them coming back. But I'm sure he'll be delighted with the way Sorissa is going. And again, another 9-year-old, 2 9-year-olds in the top 5, showing plenty of promise for the future. It's certainly been a brilliant afternoon of sport here in Barcelona, a brilliant evening coming your way with Phil Ghazala and the team for that second Longines FEI Jumping Nations Cup competition, the Challenge Cup tonight at 9 o'clock local time here in Barcelona, and then tomorrow is the final itself to find out who will be this year's Longines FEI Nations Cup winner. But the winner today is France and Julien Epinard, with the great 9-year-old Donatella Doge with one of the fastest rounds in jumping I've seen this year, and I've seen quite a few, but that was absolutely brilliant. Exciting stuff. Show jumping at its very, very best. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. Thank you for being with me, Gareth Jenkins, throughout the course of this one this afternoon. It has been an absolute pleasure. Look forward to the next time we're together as I leave you with a lap of honour from Julien Epinard and Donatella Doge.